Now, listen, we're back. Now, I got to preface this because I said last week we're changing things up in 2026. So, you don't see none of the cast this week. I'm not going to even lie to you. You better saw them last week, but you don't see none of this cast. This is whole new. This might get a little, a little intimate today. But first, if you don't know, I'm your host, Dante. It's Uncharted Conversations. And we got some special guests, two distinguished men on this campus of Bethune-Cookman, which I'm going to have to introduce themselves as, the new members of today. Can I get y'all to introduce yourselves, gentlemen?
He said distinguished, so he got to be talking about you.
I introduce myself first. Hello, family. I'm Dr. Rod King. I am glad to be here. I work here at Bethune-Cookman University in the Office of Student Success and Retention. I am your transfer coordinator. It is great to be here today.
And I'm your host, the one and only. I'm sorry. It's not radio. Let me bring it back. Let me dial it down a little bit. I'm Mr. Shaw right here in the TV studio manager here at the great Bethune-Cookman University in Daytona Beach, Florida, where we're looking forward to seeing you to come through and hang out with us and come get some of this work in and get some of this education in. Now, they done messed up giving me a microphone because I talk, so I don't know what he want me to do. Do you want me to stop now?
Hey, you good. We can come back. Hey, the one thing about it, boy, Mr. Shaw is always going to be the GOAT on this campus, especially in this studio. He's the reason why I got all this together, so it's always a big ups to Mr. Shaw. Now, I know I said earlier you don't see none of the cast. The cast is not here. They all got a day off. Y'all can thank me later. So today we're talking about the black church or the black gospel, however you want to consider it, and we might get a little intimate today. So you already know, as always, the questions are on deck, and the first question is, it's simple. What is something that you love about the church, and what is something that you dislike about the church?
Oh, wow.
That is.
Wow.
Yeah, you came out swinging.
Yeah, wow.
You didn't even ease.
Right.
You didn't even ease into it. But Sean, you want to deal with that first?
Like you could have said, do you like your pastor or something? What is it about the church you like and what you don't like?
About the church.
In every church, in every situation, there's always going to be something that you like and something that you don't like. Sometimes, most of the time, it's not necessarily the church. It's the people in the church.
Yes.
And I'm going to be honest, there are some members of the church that, why are you here today? Okay, well, since you're here, let's try to do this. And I know what backlash I'm going to get with it, but I love everything about the church. Don't get it wrong, because our churches are always and will always be a place of healing, it's a hospital. That's what I like to call it.
Yes.
So, it's going to have its ups and downs, but I don't know if I have it's just people.
It's people. I can wholeheartedly agree with that. It's certain situations and circumstances you find yourself in with people that can damage or disappoint or even destroy an individual's perception about the church. I love the church. The church has been a hospital. It has been a place of healing. It has been a place of comfort. It's been a place of joy. It's been a place of fellowship. I've created so many great relationships within the church. But a lot of times where the dislike or the disappointment comes is because of certain people and individuals who proclaim, or especially when they have certain titles in the church.
Come on.
You become disappointed because you would think that title would afford you a certain level of, credibility, a certain level of language, or just being a peaceable, or what we consider to be a holy person, and you don't always find that. So we tend to be let down by people, because I would say never by God.
Right. I agree, because you would think that once you get that title, it brings your relationship with God at a different point, and then you'll be able to deal with people at a different level. But not everybody understands that.
Not everybody understands
so.
that. And you always have people. I'll tell people. I say, Jesus had his church. Mm-hmm. He had his 12. And even one of those with the devil.
That's it.
There's always somebody who will be in there. He had Thomas who doubted. There's always going to be, he had Peter who was. So the church is a diverse mix of group.
Of disciples.
You know what I'm saying? So it's always going to be somebody. I love the church. I love everything that the church stands for. I love everything that it has done for not just me and my present family, but just my growth and my coming up. I learned the value of trusting and believing God.
Yeah.
Just through my childhood and everything, and watching my mother and the impact and just the church I grew up in. So yeah, I love the church.
Yeah.
Okay, I love that answer. And I forgot to mention, Dr. King and I are from the same hometown. Shout out to Palaca, Florida. Paper City boy. You know, so. Next question on deck. This is gonna lighten things up a little. What is a moment that shouldn't have been funny in the church, but you might have just, had a kickle, a little laugh, a little hee hee ha ha moment?
Oh, so listen. God
I got a lot of
has
those.
a sense of humor. People can't tell me that God doesn't have a sense of humor. I sit here and I'll laugh at myself. I would laugh at myself. Even in preaching, sometimes you expect for a word to come out a certain way, and then your tongue get tied, and it doesn't come out. You're like, oh my God, let me say that again. Let me rephrase that because it doesn't come out. You've seen people, shout. Seeing some shout, seeing some, I'm from a Pentecostal church, so we hand clapping, feet stomping, tongues speaking. We gonna run, dance, praise. I have seen so much stuff that has been so funny, but even in the laughter, because I just believe laughter is like that good medicine that the word talks about. I can still understand the seriousness of the situation. I can still see a person's hurt. I can see their pain. I can feel the presence of God that's on their life. So moments may be funny, but you can still, because it's a lot that I shouldn't be laughing at this.
Right.
It's just like scrolling on social media and seeing something like I should not be laughing. But there's some moments. Man, that have been captured on film. I had a friend who was shouting, and they recorded it. Was they called the unforgettable shout. And the funny moment is not just the shout. The funny moment is in the background. You can see my wife just and she's on the floor shaking, and they cover her with the sheet. She gonna be mad at me for telling this, but they cover her with the sheet and everything. So it took like, that's you, So yeah. So it's definitely some funny moments. As serious as the time is, there's definitely some funny moments.
I don't like a dead church. I'm not a member of a dead church, so I'm always trying to be creative, and I'm always doing something to kind of make it a little bit more liver in church, because some churches you can go to and they just, it's like, Lord, why am I sitting here? Because like ain't nobody moving. But as I recall growing up, everybody got one. I don't kid you not. Everybody got this member in their church. You got one in your church too. Sister or brother shout a lot.
Oh my God!
It don't take but a second. There's one particular song we used to sing growing up by can I say the name?
Go ahead.
Donald Lawrence. The song was called "I Am God."
Okay.
I am God. Every time that song came on, we'll make it through the first stanza, but after that second stanza come back in, Sister shouted like, "Gone." She gone. She done messed up everybody, and it just gone. So it'd be like, all right, cool. That's the one song we're gonna stay away from. Come another song, she go right into it like, oh, all right, cool. Third song, Sister shout a lot. So that is right there. Those be the funny moments right there. But it's not that I'm laughing at it. What I'm laughing at, because it take no time for her to just go in. But we don't know what she been through. We don't know what she had to go through. We might be making light of it, but that's her testimony and her relationship that she does. So, I had to learn that growing up. But as a teenager, Sister shout a lot. She gonna go off any second. We sit in there with a clock. Flavor Flav.
That's my mom. I would be sliding down the seat in church. And I tell people I never realized like why. I was like, she doing all that praising God and this and we going. But I never realized it until it's like I got older and she started testifying about how I got a football scholarship. She doesn't have to worry about how I'm going to school, and just certain things start happening, and I realized that's why my mom will pray, because she's the sister shout a lot. My mom
will go in. It don't take no time.
And it takes no time.
We walking the door going in. Oh, glory. The door just opened. I felt that come right out. It just came right here.
Came and snatched me.
But that's what churches need, though. Mm-hmm. If a lot of people would come into the church already prepped and ready to go, church would be a whole lot different. I'm not no preacher.
No, you're telling the truth because they expect people to pump and prime them, and they expect the preacher or the praise and worship or the choir to get them to a certain place that you should already come in surrendered.
You should come in the door like that.
Yeah, come in surrender.
All that baggage that you got, you bringing that bag into the church. All right, cool. It's going to be a moment that you can leave it at the altar.
Yeah.
But if you can drop it off before you come in and try not to pick it back up on your way out, it'll change the dynamics for you. We get to call you Brother Shout a lot.
Yeah, I tell them I love y'all playing bumper cars.
Right.
I love it. That's the kind of church I grew up in, and I love that atmosphere. I love that praise and worship.
I love that. I love to hear that. What has been a moment where you realized you might be going to hell and God stepped in and saved you from that?
Oh man. Whew. I probably.
Now, purpose is how you want to now.
I probably had because that's when you sit and it's like I've had moments where I've been laughing. I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna go to hell for this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have those, but on a serious note, I have experienced some things in my life where it's like after it happened, I'm like, if that trigger would have been pulled, if that accident would have happened, if I would have died, I would wake up in hell.
I probably should have been slung off somebody's car by now, because as a young man, thinking life is just gonna be forever for me. I would run out of school after school in middle school and high school. In high school, my guys had cars. Yeah. So I would run and they'd be driving like, y'all ain't going nowhere without me. And I would jump on their car. Yeah. And they'd be like moving and slinging. I probably should have slid off in the middle of traffic on the 79th in Chicago. Yeah. And all that traffic going back and forth, but I didn't. That probably would have been a moment right there that God really said, God had his hand on me. Other moments, like you said, that trigger got pulled. And I told God, like, God, if you can get me out, in my head, if you can get me out of this, you got me for life.
You got me.
And that's been my moment for life with God. So I run with him all day, every day.
Yeah.
So,
that's good. I mean, and just growing up, man, we, and my sister, she actually put it, talked about it to, I don't know if she exactly talked about it, but what led to it, and I'm very transparent. My dad was a drug addict. And some of my friends I went to school, I grew up in that crack epidemic. So a lot of my friends who I went to school with, that's what they did. And they would not sell to our father. They wouldn't sell to him. My father got mad, snatched their stuff, and they came to the house looking for him with guns. Like, we don't want to shoot up the house.
So he better come outside.
So we need him. He wasn't, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't, but that could have easily, if we were dealing with a different group of friends who didn't respect our mom, who was a custodian at the school, or who didn't respect us, who we were growing up with in the same neighborhood, it would have been easy for them to pull the trigger and just shoot the house up with no problem, because of the principle of that type of mentality when you have that type. So it's so many like different. I got a lot where it's just like it could have been
different.
Could have been different.
Yeah, and we all do, because we all have different walks of life that we've taken, and some have gone away where that could have been that moment right there. My wife, when I first got married, and my wife was pregnant, and I can't stand with. I'm gonna be honest. I cannot stand if you cut me off on the highway.
Oh boy.
It's on and popping. He's still working. God, I know you still working on me with that, because I'm leaning on the horn. But I was on I-4 on my way home, and there's two Caucasian dudes in this big old monster truck cut me off. I'm sitting up here going back and forth with them. I'm like, I ain't got to go back and forth with you. I sped up, pulled over on the side of the road, and told them, hey, come on, pull on over. They kept going. Gratefully, I'm glad. But God revealed to me, he said, you big dummy, if I'd have let them get out, they'd have did something to you, and your wife would have been pregnant with a child and all by herself. So, at that, God tamed my road rage. Yeah. He tamed it. Yeah. But it still kick in every now and then.
But it's, I'm glad you said, because there's so much stuff that he protects us for that we just do unknowingly.
Right.
And that situation, my wife pulled up to the gas station. My wife just got married. I'm going back and forth with the dude. He gonna disrespect me. I'm at this pump. You trying to make me move? What's up, there? My wife said, what if you got a gun? I was just like, oh. Yeah. You don't think about
it.
Yeah, you don't think about that stuff. You just think about the fact that I'm a man. You're not going to disrespect me. And sometimes I tell people, sometimes it's best to be the humble one.
Yeah.
It's best to lessen yourself even if it makes it look like it greatens them, because at the end of the day, like you said, your wife needs you to come home. My wife, our kid, they need us to come home. So we don't want to be out here, we don't want anything to happen because we allow pride to get in the way. And now here it is, it's a tragedy that could have been avoided, but because I wouldn't settle myself down, now my family has to deal with the consequences and
And
repercussions.
see, that's the thing I love about being here at Bethune, because we get a chance to talk to these young men from the experience of what we did. And as we talking to you right now.
Yes.
You know, we gonna tell you, was it really that serious? Was it really that important? But that was my pride. I understand, and I got you 100%. But sometimes that pride will get us in trouble. As men, pride get us in trouble. So
Hello.
let go and let God.
Okay, well, let's go to the next question. This one is another intimate moment. Is there a time where you might have questioned God, or you might have stopped believing after a tragic moment or something that might have happened in your life?
Oh man. You want me to take that one first?
I never had that moment. I've never had a moment where I didn't believe God, because the way I've seen my grandmother, my grandfather, you know, how they trusted God. So even in the midst of me doing crazy stuff, it was never a doubting moment for me not to believe God. Now, what I did say, well, if you get me out of this,
A lot of times.
you got me for life on that. So, but yeah, I've never had a moment where I doubted God in anything that He does, and I think that's what my wife enjoys the most about us, because her faith wasn't as strong as mine. So when we got together, she's like, "You here?" And I'm like right here. I'm like, what does that mean? Because I put my pants on the same way you put it. Like, when your relationship with God, said that's the difference. My relationship with God is a little bit different than yours, because this is how I grew up, and I understood it as I grew up. So we in this thing together. So my relationship with God is here. Your relationship with God is here. We in this thing together. So let's make this thing happen.
Oh,
So
man.
that, but
Mine is mine was more so childhood though. It was childhood where I as much as I saw in the church, as much as I enjoyed it, as much as I saw ministry not just preached but happen. I saw how people would come to our house and bring clothes and bring food and do different things. And my mom in the back, and I could hear her praying, because my mom was one of those ones. You know, we stayed in what be considered a shotgun house, straight through. You know, and it was, so she was in the room praying, so you could hear everything, and crying out of how, you know, I'm gonna do, you know, and I could hear that, and I felt it, but there was also that part of anger or rage that also tried to rise up, because I felt like, okay, why do you have to do it like this? Because the Bible is telling you to do it like this. The Bible is telling you to handle it like this. And I got to a point to where I didn't agree with how you were handling it and what the Bible was saying. And so the beauty of it was, me and my mom could have conversation. And I would talk, and I would just tell her how, you know, I don't understand. I don't like this, and God seems like He's unfair. You know, all of this stuff, because we're going through all of this, you're still trying to be this wife who submits to her husband after everything that we're going, this, that. And I would say, let me say, before my father did pass, before he passed, we end up developing an awesome relationship. I realized that man was awesome. It was just the addiction. I realized just how awesome he was. That everything my mom said about him was true. He was an awesome man. She never beat him down, broke him down. I don't care how mad we got at him. She kept telling us how awesome he was, and we actually got a chance to experience that for ourselves, that this was an awesome man. But that's where because I was mad at God, because it's like, God, if you save, if you heal, if you deliver, if you bless, if you open doors, if you make ways, if you overflowing, it said you will do exceedingly abundantly above. If you do all of this, where is it at for us? And so I was mad, and my mom would just say, son, keep the faith, keep trust, and I didn't understand it. But here it is. It was one day my mom called. She said, son, I was in college. She said, me and stepdad, we're going to school, and got her voice, we're going to Hawaii.
without me,
But it hit me like, hold on. We're going from barely able to keep our water on, able to keep a roof over our head, food on our table, you know, lying about mom fixing us a candlelight dinner because the light's out, to you going to Hawaii? You going on cruise. You got your own house. You got your own.
Yeah.
Now it's like, son, if you just trust God. If you just trust. So even then, I wasn't where I needed to be in college. I hadn't. But then I started to see. So even while I was still in college, my faith, man, I trust God. If something happened, I know why it happened. It wasn't God. He keeps his promises. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it taught me my experience. So it taught my experience, pushed me to a place to where, man, God can do whatever he wants. You're not worried about it. He in control. This don't, what I'm going to do? What am I gonna do?
What can we do?
All I can do, he said, cast your cares upon, I care for you.
Yeah.
I give it to him. I can't do nothing. And at first my wife was looking at me like, Joker, you tripping. Like, you go to sleep and act like it
Ain't nothing happened.
But what we gonna do? We can't do anything. So you might, hey.
I'm here. We here.
I can't, and so it's just, but it's because again, that's why I tell you, you could go through situations and still reach the same.
Yeah.
Two different situations, but faith gets to the same place.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that's the thing, because of what? So I'm thankful. That's why I tell people, like, you don't regret the way I'm so thankful for the way I came up.
Grateful.
But
I appreciate it.
I
Because
appreciate
it brought me to where I am today. And you can't take all that stuff that I went through, all the stuff that I've done, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be the person that you see before you. I understand because, man, look, my wife like, we just had a whole argument. All
right, what up?
What you want me to do now? And you ready to go to sleep? Yeah, come on over here. Let's go to bed. She's like, you weird. You different. Yeah, I am.
About what? We done now. We done got out how we feel, what we think. Come on.
All right, it's over with.
What you want to watch?
But that's faith.
That's real.
That's faith. So.
That's real. Next question we got on the deck is, what is something that you learned or a valuable lesson that you learned from the church that holds you close to God?
So, I grew up Pentecostal, Apostolic Church of God, Bishop Arthur M. Brazier back in the 90s. And the thing that I value the most, Bishop Brazier would talk about us as men in the middle of his sermon in front of thousands of people, because I went to a big church. But he would say, fellas, if you want to keep your wife, you want to keep your woman, here's some of the things that you need to do. Here's some of the stuff that you ought to be doing. Women, you talking about your husband not doing this? Maybe if you try A, B, C, D. Like, he would preach this stuff, and I'm sitting here at 12, 13, 14 years old, like, I ain't. But when I got into my first relationship, all that started coming back. It just started coming back. Let me go get her a cupcake, some lemon heads, because that's all I can afford right now. Some Skittles, and she appreciated it. But it was the small stuff like that that prepped me, so when I got my queen, I can do this on a daily. And it's not, I do stuff just because now. JB, just because. So those are moments like that I remember growing up on, listening to the pastor talk about stuff like that, and then talk about our relationship with God and how you just hold on, steadfast, unmovable. God said he got you. And when he told me, God said he got you, man, I did go invincible at one point. I did go invincible.
That's all of us. I think that's all of us.
God got me, and let me go hold down this block over here. No, good. I should have been on that block, but I did it anyway. God got me. And these thugs came out and said, hey, what set you from? God. What? You from what? God said. God, I'm over here to go holler at my homeboy. So it's like, hey man, he tripping. Let him go on through. Thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
So it be those moments.
It be those moments you see. And my statement was going to be just real life. Just the real life experiences and lessons that were taught, and you bring them up about how to be a man, how to be a good. I used to. My pastor would also. As I was growing up, my pastor, he was older, so the assistant pastor, I remember him more pastoring, and he was because in the Church of God in Christ, you have the pastors, the superintendent. So I was my pastor at the time was superintendent, and superintendent was getting oh my God, the man, but in his heyday, oh my God, but we had some church, and then the assistant pastor, he came, and but he more was like real life. He talked to you like he was talking to you. And it resonated with me about my responsibility and my role as being a young man, as preparing, as being a good first a good child, being a good son, how I should conduct myself and being a good son, how I should conduct myself once I become a young man, and even though I may have not been doing all of those things, it was still there. That's why when it talks about train up a child, and then I would say, I'll just share this. We had a meeting last night, some of the youth leaders and everything, and I was talking about being intentional. And I was telling them the thing that made church exciting for me was our youth leader.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Our youth leader. She was saved. She was one of them, I'm gonna wear my long dress, whatever, but she would get out there and play basketball with us. She was older. She would do we would have and in the midst of that, getting us together and teaching us biblical lessons about stuff that she saw along the way. The reason y'all lost is because y'all weren't unified. Bring us a scripture about unity. And we're like, oh no, but y'all spent most of y'all time arguing about who was doing this team. And it's just like, the Bible says, so,
Click.
It was some real life stuff. So that was so important in my upbringing, how the church impacted me, even presently. I think about how I grew up and the impact that those church leaders had on me.
Okay. I had this question, but I'm gonna save it for last. I think I want to move to this question because you brought up a good point with kids and your youth leaders. So, in your opinion, from either your perspective as God's shepherd or your perspective as just a regular member in the church, why can it be challenging to get the younger generation in church today?
I think I would have to preface my statement by just saying parents. When I grew up, you wasn't asked.
It wasn't an option.
It wasn't an option.
You going.
I would tell my joke with my mom was, my joke with her even now is, and I tell people, if we weren't saved, if no other day we were going to act like we were saved, it was on Sunday.
Definitely.
Because your boy was going to church. I called my son, my senior year, getting a job, and it's like, well, I'm working on the weekends. I got practice, all this, so I just work on the weekend. And then my mom, oh, you done missed them. So you working? Yes, ma'am. That's the only way they can. Oh, okay. So I'm pulling up, I'm thinking they about to take me home because I done worked like a long shift. We had what's called YPWW, they started at 6. Man, they kept on taking me to the church. Well, you can't go in the morning, you gonna go to
You gonna get there.
And my mom wanted you go to church every time the church doors open. But Sunday, you were going to church. If it was something dealing with the youth, you were gonna be there. So she made sure. So I always go back to parents. Parents have to. It's one thing to talk about, it's one thing to run, it's one thing to shout. But your children have to know how important salvation is to them. Because if it can't just come from the preacher, it just can't come. It starts with you. And you have to set the precedent in your home. Our parents didn't care if we were mad at them. Our parents didn't care if we didn't so-called like them or whatever. Our conversation was, you're going to understand it once you get older. And I promise you I understand it. Even if I talk to some of my friends who may not be in the church, we can have great conversations about the impact of the church because they understand what our parents were trying to teach us. You may not always agree with what was done or how it was done, but when you see the reason behind it, you understand. My parents trying to teach me how to be a good person, respectful person, how to have faith, how to, all these things. That's what they were trying to teach us. YPWW, Sunday school, those were the times that we got this word imparted in us. And it was a level of word that we could handle at the time. As we matured, it was more, but we can handle and we can use those as tools of growth and development. So I think it starts with the parents. And then I also think that this world is attractive.
It is.
Yes.
This world is attractive, and a lot of times we like to deny the fact that this world has nothing to offer. This world deals with our desires. This world deals with our fantasies. This world deals with our heart. And the Bible tells us that our heart is deceitfully and desperately wicked above this heart. Who can know it?
Right.
So we have to understand that that world is attractive. So we can't come in with the same, we have to be willing to be creative and innovative in our approach and adapt. I'm not saying that we go away from, we're not talking about, no. But we have to make it, I'm going to give you this and I'm going to let you. I grew up in a rap generation. I grew up hip hop.
Yes.
And you got some people who say, well, hip hop has no place. Well, I love hip hop. let's go on my phone. I got Lecrae, KB, Trip Lee, Flame,
Let's ride.
Andy Minio, they all on that's my playlist.
Right.
Cause I'm a rap, I'm a hip hop. So, but I got everybody. I got the Donald Lawrence and the Paul Mortons and I got all them. But that's so you can't just put them in a box and say, well, nah, that's not God. When God say, you know what, I want to reach every generation.
Yes.
I want to reach. So that's my little spiel.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. It becomes the parents now because I know growing up, being in church all day, every day, I said, man, when I get to school, I ain't got to go. Ain't nobody going to make me go. I can sleep in all I want, but I find myself right there in that place in church. I'm like, yeah, I tried to stay away, but God, what you trying to do? For me as a teenager, my mom was working, so my auntie would come and grab me. So, Saturday nights, I'm out with the fellas. I know goodness well I got to get up Sunday morning. She going to come.
She'll come in to get you.
So my auntie would she'll leave you quick. If you ain't ready, you gone. You just going to miss out. So one morning, my mom took the hinges off the door. My auntie came in. Didn't I tell you I was coming over here to get you?
Oh, man.
My auntie hit me, and that door, she hit the door, and the door fell and doop right in the head. I said, Lord, I can't get over this for nothing. I got up, I went to church with this knot on my head. They was like, man, what's wrong with you? Man, I ran into the door ran into me. So I'm like, I didn't want to be here. So I said, you know what? I'm going to fix my auntie. Here's what I do. I'm going to fix my auntie. At church, we had like all these different organization stuff that you can do. My auntie want me in church, I'm going to be in church every night of the week. She got to pick me up and she got to take me. Nope. My auntie said, you signed up for that. I didn't. They go to church van, and you know how to get on the city bus and go home. And you know what time you need to be in the house before your mama say anything to you. So whatever you sign up for, you better be there, and you better be committed to everything.
Wow.
I done went and signed myself up on Monday for this, Tuesday for this, Wednesday for this, Thursday choir rehearsal, Friday with a lot. And my auntie, I ain't got to be
get
there.
at your auntie,
But it came back on me. So, as fellas, don't do what I did. Do as you told.
Do as you're told. Oh,
but for that, though, reasoning, I met some awesome people in the church that I built relationships with. When I went away to school, I didn't have scholarships, but I had some people in that church that advocated for me and gave me money to go to school and took care of me on my first 2 years. And when I go back home, I went right to that kitchen and started working. Because there was the people in the kitchen that I learned how to cook in the kitchen at church. Because every Friday night, the young men of the church, we had to go and clean the kitchen. Because the weekends would be different things and we would feed the homeless. We had to go in there and clean the kitchen, mop, scrub, and help cook and pick up pots and pans. And we'd be grunting and mad and as all get up. But when we sat down and ate, them women in the kitchen, Auntie Diane, they can.
You got to get a shout out.
They can cook. And I picked up a lot of notes in the kitchen just being in there on learning how to cook. So now when I cook dinner at home, my kids be like, Daddy, when you cooking again? Chill out, your mama got this. Don't do too much.
Don't do that.
Tell your mama you appreciate it.
Keep the peace.
But it goes back to parents. Parents, I need you to be parents. Don't be friends. I mean, I wasn't a friend with my mama. I mean, now I am.
Yeah.
But at that time, my mom was my mom.
My mom was my mom.
I tell people all the time, I had family reunions. When I got in trouble, I had a family reunion. I got an uncle who stayed on the west side of Chicago. He had 2 boys. Whenever they got in trouble, all 3 of us got a whooping. Whenever I got in trouble, all 3 of us got a whooping.
That's how we grew up.
My uncle drove all the way from the west side of Chicago to the south side to give me a whooping. And then his big sister would come in, Chris, I heard you did such and such, such and such. Come on in here and get it. My grandma had 6 kids.
That's how we grew
I
up.
caught a whooping from every last one of them. Then I caught whoopings from cousins.
It wasn't no, don't touch my baby, don't say nothing to my child. We didn't grow up like that.
We didn't. When one got in trouble, we all got in trouble. So I got an auntie that's Sigma Gamma Rho. I got an uncle that's an Alpha. I got an uncle that's a cousin that's a Q. And then I got some other cousins that. So I tell people I'm part of Divine Nine before you even know it. So boy, they used to take your boy in that basement. Let go.
If it wasn't about it, felt like it. Oh, Lord.
So but parents, let's be parents.
Yeah, I can say something too, because I love what you said about the connections and being involved. Young men and women, please, those connections, get involved, because you get a chance to meet so many people who have such a positive impact on your life. And that's why I say if you're attending a ministry or something, sometimes we say, oh, this is boring, they ain't do it. It's because we're not involved. We're just sitting there. We're just sitting on our phones, and we're trying to find a way to be distracted from what's actually going on. But you can become a part of the video crew, the sound team,
It's a lot.
the ushers and different things, the hospitality. It's so much, the youth league, it's so much that you can do. So I encourage you to get involved, because those connections, I'm telling you, like you said, I was in the church, I grew up but when I left, oh man, every now and then my mama say, hey, Deacon so-and-so said, Elder so-and-so said, give you this. Mother so-and-so said, sing you this.
That's it.
Because you're doing what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So they were looking out. So get involved. You never know how it's going to come back.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. Next question. In light of the recent events that has happened in the black church, or what has just happened just a few days ago with the Juicy skit, what is your point of view about mega churches?
Okay. And you say the what?
The Drewski.
The Drewski skit.
Oh, the Drew.
Drewski.
Yeah.
You funny.
Yeah,
You funny.
I'm gonna say this first, because I know sometimes it's like certain things are not, and I tell people this. Nothing is left like untouched or untapped. There was a time when people wouldn't, it was certain things that people wouldn't do or wouldn't even, especially when it came to the church. People wouldn't, but nothing is left untapped or untouched when you're looking at social media and comedians and people promoting, different, because we understand, we have to understand we're in a day and age where you get paid for views and likes.
Yes.
You get, what I'm saying? And a lot of people do stuff, and this is what it is, that may go against their convictions, but if it gets them some likes, them likes are gonna get some money in their account, and that's how they continue to live. They do it. I will tell you this: we are the church that I pastor in, Palmer Church of God in Christ, Lake Helen, Florida. Family, nothing but love to you. I love it. It's a smaller church, but I always say we have a mega-minded ministry. We do a lot. We always talk about that for our side. We do a lot. We try to create so many different opportunities for the members, and to be involved and to just appreciate and different things like that. I don't knock the mega church, because what happens is a lot of times when you're dealing with mega churches, you got many people, and it's difficult for you to pastor all of those people. And when you have a platform, there's a difference. I can say something at Empowerment that would make me absolutely nothing to millions of people. But when you're in a mega church, you got that platform, that pastor can say the same thing, and now it affects all of these people. So I always tell people, get context. Get context before judgment, because we are quick to judge the church. And most of the people who are quick to judge the church are people who have nothing to do with the church or don't have a relationship with God our Father. In light of it, I think that the mega church serves a great benefit. It serves a great help, because people will look at, they got all these people, but when you really listen, you'll find out they also got low-income apartments or homes that people are staying in. You'll find out all the different services they provide. Like we just had listen to Mr. Shaw. He said they fed the homeless. People overlook that.
Yeah.
And a lot of times in our churches, we don't get grants like that. We can, but sometimes a lot of what our churches do is off of the backs of the members. And people see a mega church and they say, we know statistically only about 30% of the people contribute to the full ministry.
Yep.
That's stats.
Yeah.
So you can have a lot of people in there, but that doesn't mean all of them are supporting what's taking place in the ministry. And so, it takes a lot of work. It takes the same way your lights have to be. You need staff. Everybody wants somebody to volunteer. Everybody can't be a volunteer.
Yeah.
Somebody has to be on payroll if you want certain things to be done. So I don't knock. I think people find a funny moment, but no matter how funny the moment is, every person is going to have a road to Damascus type experience where they're going to have an opportunity to get to know God for themselves.
Yep.
So that's,
I grew up in a mega church, a big church. My church, growing up, we set over 3,000 people. We had 2 services, and I was at both of them, and a 4 o'clock service. But I would not knock a big church, because even though so many people come in, so many people do leave out. because they feel uncomfortable at a big church, or they feel as if the pastor don't know the congregation, which is cool. That's fine. That's up to you. But it's not. It wasn't the bishop. It was the other ministers, the other preachers at the church that got a chance to talk to other members. The way I met my pastor was the bishop was from a whole other point of view. I'm not gonna go there, so because I should have been in the office first off, messing around doing stuff with the wrong people. But I was that kid in the hallway, and at a big church, eye candy. You see a lot of pretty young ladies coming by, and I was that kid in the hallway, just standing there trying to holler at all the young ladies. This minister came by and said, "Hey, I need you to do me a favor." I said, "Well, you got all these people around. Why you asking me?" "Well, I see you every week and you here. So evidently your parents or somebody here." So he took me upstairs, and I kid you not, this is the way I learned how to deal with audio boards and electronics and dealing with video. He took me upstairs. He said, "Every time I come over here, because we had the main sanctuary and then we had an overflow sanctuary, I need somebody to turn down the sound for me, let me do the benediction so these people can leave, and then turn it back up so they can watch the baptism and everything else." I said, "What? That's all I got to do?" Yeah, I didn't get paid for it. I would just go up and do it. Every time I knew he was coming, I would be in place and be ready to go. Bring the audio down, take it back up. So eventually, the head sound engineer who was on staff that worked at the church came by and said, "Hey, who taught you this?" And I told him, he said, "Hey, let me train you and let's work it out." He took me to the big sanctuary where I got a chance to sit over there, watch how they operate, watch how they did things. And then maybe about a year or so later, I did my first job at the church. I did a wedding by myself at 15 years old. At 15 years old, he said, "Hey, I don't have anybody available. I know that football season is over with for you. So if you don't mind, if you can come in here and work, we'll take care of you." I said, "Yeah, just give me the playlist of what they need and I got it." That wedding went smooth. I went into the fellowship hall, had the music and audio, had the setup over there. I learned audio setup from being at a mega church. So, there are plenty of ways, plenty of things that you can do. It's not about whether the pastor know you or not. What you gonna do when you come in? What are you putting in to get out? Because everybody always come to church expecting something to come to them, but what are you putting in before you get out? This is the same way I tell the students when they come to school. You got to put something in order to get something out. It's more than just going to class. It's more than just being in the classroom. Who you socializing with? What other activities are you involved in? So because of that, people started noticing me on the sound as a sound engineer for the church. And then I got involved in other stuff. Then youth night started kicking up. Well, we need a sound engineer. Here you go. You got me. That's like that. I love it.
People don't understand how God works.
What?
He don't.
They don't. Yeah.
So, Drewski, I know you did just do what you do. Keep doing what you're doing.
It was funny.
It was. But it comes down to your faith and your relationship with God. You know where you stand. Comedy is comedy. It's always have been comedy, and it's never gonna change. Why take it personal?
I take it personal. That's what I tell people. I don't take it. I don't take it personal because that's eventually he's gonna have to share.
He is.
And if he doesn't, then hey,
that's on him.
That's on him. But he doesn't have to, and again, we have Christian comedians.
We do.
So you know what I'm saying? It's like comedy is that people do. You might not agree with, but that's there. So you continue to be that light. Don't try. You be that light.
Just imagine Keith Sweat singing your praise and worship.
Oh God! Listen,
I want the Lord.
Oh, hey, listen. You talk about a laughable moment.
Come on.
I would be in church. I found out Keith Sweat is a praise and worship leader so well. Man, listen, but hey, y'all. So and so, you speaking today,
right?
You know why we taking a little trip or whatever. I want to go. I just did Keith Sweat.
I just want to hear.
Hey, I was telling, but I was telling my wife that we was watching the national anthem. I said I would have loved to hear Rance Allen do the national anthem.
They finna go to church. Anthem would have been 4 hours.
Oh God. I would have loved it. But again, it's bad laughter. I love laughter.
It's good for the soul. It's good for the soul. It's good for the church.
They know. I'm saying something in the we're going to laugh.
Yeah.
We're going to laugh. I can't sit here and give you all this and then it's like, especially if I feel like it's one of them words that just hit you upside the head. I'm gonna come back and say something that's going, to make. Okay, we'll get back into it. But I got, I love laughing.
Yeah.
So my next question, because this also goes in the recent events that has happened, what is your take on tithes in the church? Seeing that some pastors have now started making ushers hold people at the door so they can give.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
have mercy.
Oh my God, boy, we would take a video without the context and we'll run with it. Boy, oh my God. Oh my God.
Let me. It was a joke. It was nothing that really never took place. It was just a joke about whatever it was that they was doing. But in the same essence, nobody can really. I'm not gonna say nobody can really hold you.
They can't hold you.
If you don't have it, you don't have it. You do what you're supposed to do. If you're a firm believer in the body of Christ and you know that you're supposed to give your 10%, you're gonna do what you're supposed to do and just go.
Regardless.
So I'm not. Yeah, I don't even pay attention to all that other. It's just noise.
And I laugh because I've been a part. Even I think it was I don't remember Pastor Winans was said to shut the door.
Sap, Marvin
Sap.
Sapp,
Sap.
one
I
of
think
them.
it
Yeah,
was
Sap.
Yeah, it's talking about lock the door. And I've been at like major conventions, where statements have been made and people still walk out.
They do.
And the reason they're making this appeal, but he was making that appeal is because he was trying to raise enough money to pay for the conference. To just have it, like he wanted to walk away when he walked away. But there was still people, you can't make people. I've been in because you got so many different, I know in Church of God in Christ, you be at a conference they having church in this room, this meeting in this. And you trying to get out so you could go to all these different places. People leave their money with the usher or whatever. But I'm like, hey, if you ain't got it, you ain't got it.
You ain't got it.
And when it comes to tithe and offering, I'm just a firm believer that's between you and God. This is what we do here. This is how we do it. This is what it's for, and we need your support. Now, whether you give that support or not from that standpoint, that's on you. I don't need your W-2 form. I don't want to see your tax return. That's between you and God. You gotta work that out.
Listen, I do enough stuff on my own. Mm-hmm. I don't need your help when I do my role. I got my own judgment to deal with. So, do you?
Do you? So
You know what you're supposed to do.
What you're supposed to do. So you just you give. That's what people saying. Well, you got an option. You got options. God gives you an option to either do or just don't. And if you can't, I always tell people this. If it's not you, if that's something that you're not, if God hasn't pressed that upon your heart, they're not talking to you. I don't care how hard they make that appeal. They're not talking to you.
That's it.
Yeah. But we take so much stuff personal.
We do.
Like they talking about, it's somebody. You always notice though. I don't care if it's $20,000. You can be in that big. And here, I need 10 people to give this $20,000. And you sit here saying something like, I can't believe he asking for $20,000. And guess what? I guarantee you at least 10 people going to stand on.
That's it.
Because they're able to.
Yeah.
They're able to do that. But we'll sit back and look. But then you find out that $20,000 just paid off that homeless shelter that they was bit.
That's it.
But nobody talks about that.
No.
You'll never hear a word
Nobody
about
won't talk
it.
about that. We just talk about why this pastor gotta, we'll talk about why the psychologist, you pay a psychologist $300-400 an hour or for 30 minutes just to tell them all your problems. But you don't want the pastor. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Come
Go
on.
ahead. Go ahead. I ain't gonna. I'm not even.
Let's
go. Ahead.
go.
Go ahead. Group it back in. Group it back in. But yeah.
I mean, I was gonna let you go on that. It's uncharted conversation, so you can say whatever you want without being
Go to the
penalized.
hospital and visit your family. You know what I'm saying? Talk to your
You
kids,
call on the
Jay,
pastor
you
all
talk
day,
about
every day, about everything.
Oh.
But the minute that he don't do something for you, well, he dirt.
He dirty.
Every word up under the sunlight come out about the pastor.
And you forget that he's human too.
We do.
He's operating on a level of authority, but so guess what happens if you don't get rest? What happens if your body start to break down? Because you begin to feel. I'm telling you, thank God for my wife. She got blackout dates on her calendar. And she'll let me know if I say yes to something and I shouldn't. Why you say I told you? Yeah.
I don't want to deal with that.
You got to talk to my wife.
But
you got to take the schedule.
I tell people all the time, pastors are human. They walk like you. They eat like you. They make mistakes. But we've forever in a day, people always thought the pastor was like God.
That's right.
And the pastor is not. The pastor is just a person operating under what the Lord told him or her to do.
Mm-hmm.
So don't go pointing your finger, because remember, you point your finger, you got 3 more coming back at you. So I stick up for any pastor in a heartbeat until we had to me and the pastor had that conversation. All right, pastor, now listen.
Yeah.
Now this went down and this is what happened. So talk to me and tell me now, because we need to be on the same page about this, because the Bible say, touch not thy anointed.
I believe that.
I don't want to deal with. I'm not dealing with God in that as somebody. If you want to go point at your pastor, do you? But when God got you too.
We your boss can do something at work, and you ain't going on social media telling all of that because you worried about losing your job. But as soon as the pastor do something you don't like, and I ain't talking about no far-fetched stuff. He may have said something that you thought was out of order, or well, he shouldn't have said that. Now you want to, and everybody want to have a debate on it. But you a judge, you hold that pastor to that. And I'm not saying that pastor should be held to a level of accountability. But my issue always becomes, we don't never have all of the context. You're showing me a clip, and you're telling me to make an informed decision. I don't know what this sermon was. I say I've had people come on my social media and try to debate me about something that I said, that it was a quote from a part of my sermon. Go and watch the sermon. You'll understand why I said what I said.
Listen to the context that came before.
Listen to the context that came before that. Oh, I don't believe that. Oh, okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
What would you say? I'm not about to argue. I ain't about to do no Facebook fight.
You can have that.
You can have that.
Okay, so I think this brings up a good question. Cause I was out of questions, but it's funny because Mr. Walker was just in here, for those who don't know Mr. Walker, and he was like, God gonna give you some questions during this interview while you talking, and it is gonna spring up upon you. So I want to ask this question. As a pastor, how do it feel for you to see your colleagues or other ministers or pastors of the gospel get arrested for doing idiotic stuff that you would never thought they might have done, like sexual harassment, sexual abuse?
Oh, God, he going.
Man, that's right up your alley.
Yeah. Hey, y'all got a pastor.
I'm just a faithful member. Praise and worship, that's it.
Oh, man. Listen, I would tell you and I just had this conversation with a friend of mine, and I was telling them that the secret sauce that I found, and I heard this Bishop, they asked Bishop, I want to go to Patterson, but West Angeles,
Noel?
Blake, Bishop Blake.
Blake, okay.
Bishop Blake. Years ago, I was looking at this interview, and they asked Bishop Blake about, you this pastor West End. They called him like a Hollywood, because, at the time, Magic Johnson and Denzel.
Everybody.
They called him like the Hollywood, all them were members of his church and everything. And shout out to Denzel, he did get baptized and ordained minister to the Church of God of Christ.
Yes, sir.
But it was.
He baptized.
And he said he'd take his wife with him everywhere. I wasn't. I think I was probably just a minister. I became an elder, and then so in my mind said it was like, you know what, take your butt home, and that's what I tell everybody. Take your butt home. Because I don't care what's going on, take your butt home. Foolishness is looking for everybody. Opportunity to do wrong is out there for everybody. The wrong doors are open to everybody. Wrong opportunities are open to everybody. So you have to make sure that you are not only a covering, but you are willing to be covered by the one that God sent to help you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my covering. So I take myself home. I'm a man, I'm a human, I'm flesh. I take my butt home. Because what I don't want to do, I don't want to give an opportunity for the enemy to invade my space in a way that it has me questioning, should I go home or should I go here? So you got to put yourself in a position where you have to be honest with yourself about your life. As it pertains to people who get caught up in stuff, my heart goes out because it's like, man, I know the impact that it's going to have on the body. But even what I still tell people then is, remember they're human. But, pray for them. I know you don't like what they did, but pray for them. I know you don't like what they said, but pray for them, because you're one step away from that being you.
Wow.
And we don't think about that.
We don't.
think, oh, their skeletons now are evident. We can't see yours.
Even though I was just joking saying it's right up your alley, but it hit all of us.
It hits all of us.
It don't just hit the pastors and other pastor members, it hit members too. Because once you see a pastor do something and everybody gonna come look at the praise and worship leader like, well, you knew about this. No, I didn't. But in the same essence, it's not my job to judge. And I tell people all that Tupac said, it ain't my job to judge. Only God can judge me. That's what he said, and that's real. But in the same essence, we are human, and we are going to slip up and make mistakes. What I do, you can't do. God allowed me to go back to the hood and post up on the block to go talk with everybody, but I know I can't. I'm not gonna get caught up because I've been delivered from it. When I see situations coming our way while we on the block, hey fellas, y'all want to pray real quick? Now that doesn't cease everything because I know this is a wrong gang member and this another wrong gang member, and we standing out here together. Hey, y'all want to pray real quick? Come on, let's hold hands and pray. And everybody finna pray, but well, I'm finna pray. So what you gonna do? You either gonna stand right here and wait till I get done praying, or I can go back and do that. But I might not be able to go back to the club scene and go in the club and listen to the music because it might get me rowdy. It might because I hadn't been delivered from it yet. But so there are some things
that's good.
There's some things that pastors go into another area, knowing goodness well he probably shouldn't have went, but he went because somebody died, and now she a widow, but she was fine. He done got caught up. It happens, but my heart goes out to you. But like you said, I should have took my wife with me, or I should have took another minister or somebody else with me. And I tell my pastor all the time, hey pastor, if you got to go somewhere, let me know. I'll go with you. If I can't go with you, I'll find somebody to go with you, just to be on the safe side. Because am I not my brother's keeper? Am I not my sister's keeper?
CMB.
We work hand in hand. So if the shoe was on the other foot, I would want somebody to go with me. So like you said, pray for them, keep them encouraged, because it affects their family, it affects your family, and it affects the body of Christ's family.
And the first thing that people want to do is pull, see, I told you there was nothing good about any. See, they'll discredit all the good, only to focus on the one.
Nothing bad.
And it's not that the person is bad.
It's not.
It's just what they did was. And we'll make them out to be a bad person because they did something bad. And not neglecting the fact that all of us at some point in our life, in some form or fashion, have done something that people consider to be bad.
Yep.
We want people to forgive us. I'm not telling you forgiveness is easy, but that's why prayer is essential, because it doesn't just affect that person. It's family, it's friends, it's a church body. There's so many more people that's attached to that.
I tell people all the time, forgiveness is not it's an easy word to say.
Yes.
But it's not an easy word to accomplish and walk in. In college, sometimes I tell people in college you find the Lord quick, because God put you through a lot of stuff while you were. But I was in the gospel choir, and we was on our way to Oklahoma, and I didn't want to go, but my ex-girlfriend was there, and I never really forgave her. But I'm sitting at the back of the bus, and I'm talking to everybody, talking all this, and I said, hey, how are we gonna say we Christians and we're a child of God, but we can't forgive somebody boy, it slapped me dead smack in my face. I'm telling you to forgive somebody, but I hadn't forgiven my ex for what she did to me. As soon as we got to Oklahoma and I said, hey, come on over here, let's talk. Listen, I apologize. I done said some stuff, I done did something because I did it out of hurt. And I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me. I just learned it while I was on the bus coming here. And she was like, oh, all this time? I was like, yeah, you probably thought it was, but I was throwing stuff in your face for what you did to me. But I apologize, and I'm truly sorry, and it won't happen again. So I've learned from that moment that forgiveness is, for me now, forgiveness is an easy task for me to do, because I had to go through it to understand it. But forgiveness ain't an easy thing.
It's not easy.
Boy, we talk about how we love people. Love ain't an easy thing.
It's not an easy thing. It's not easy thing.
You got to go through some stuff, and these be those tests that God will put you through in order for you to pass. And if you pass, you elevate to the next level. But if you fail, you keep seeing the same.
That's why you see the same people. They're recycling the same behaviors. Or they're recycling the same patterns of situations. They're recycling the same environments. And they think it's something wrong with people, but you keep recycling it because you haven't passed.
Why you still got the same type of boyfriends that keep coming in and out of your life? Same type of girlfriends that keep coming in. Why you keep going through the same car trouble? Like, come on.
It's like you recycling it.
Yeah.
Because you have it.
I'm gonna behave. I'm done. I'm gonna behave.
Okay, I got two more questions, and in the famous words of Reverend Flagg from Palaco, Florida, I'm gonna cut across the field because the hour has been well spent.
Yeah.
The next question I want to ask, the second to last question I want to ask is, how do you deal with your church members or your church family when they go through a death, or you see them in that casket and you're standing there just speechless?
From a pastoral standpoint, I will tell you it is always difficult. When you have to, because for me, 99% of the time it means that I have to prepare that eulogy. I have to be the one, mama was, daddy, I got to be there. And I will tell you, man, there are times I've had situations where I wanted to boo-hoo cry. And I had to stand there with every bit of strength that God gave me, and just be like, it's going, this too shall pass, or, God got you. You know those words that we say, and I know that person is in pain. I know, it's painful. You know that there's an appointed time for a man to die, but it's, even if you're ready, you're never ready.
Yeah.
If that even when you're ready, you know what's about to happen. You prepare for what's about to happen, but when it happens, it still shakes you.
Right.
And so you have to. I tell people, be spirit led. I am a person who, if somebody, especially I hear this often, Pastor, I've just been crying, and I'm trying to stop because I know I gotta be strong, and I say cry often.
Mm-hmm.
It hurt. You just lost someone you love. Don't let people make you feel like something's wrong with you, because that's what people do.
Yeah.
When they hurt.
They hurt.
Oh, I say, but eventually you're going to go from mourning to mourning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Weeping may endure for a night, but joy, because then it's going to get to the point you're really going to start thinking about all the good times, and you're going to find yourself crying and laughing. Crying, it go through stages. You try to help them to understand those stages. But I would tell you, it's difficult. So if you see, sometimes you'll see they'll rise up and you're like, oh my God, they did an awesome job with the eulogy or the homegoing or for whatever they did it. But oh my God, the preparation and the mental
Drain.
It
takes a lot.
And it takes a lot out of you. And I've had one where I did a wife on a Saturday, and then it was like 2 Saturdays later, I had to do them.
Again for the wow.
Oh, wow.
And it's not just on pastors, praise and worship leaders as well.
Because that's what it comes.
Because you sitting here looking at a casket, you know who's in there.
You know who's in there.
And it's somebody that you know, somebody that you love dearly, and then you gotta build up to sing the words to a song to encourage the family and tell them to stay strong. But then when you looking out at that audience, you see that 10-year-old.
Come on, man.
And she weeping up, crying because that's her daddy laying there. Then you see a cousin in the back just going through, and you still got to sing this song and encourage this family, saying it's going to be okay. But it hurt because that was my homeboy too, that's in that casket. I love that man to death because that was my brother. But I got to do this. And, we pray, and, it's hard. It really is hard, and I commend pastors. I commend a lot of pastors when they can get up and go through with that word. Whew, it's rough. So, but that's why you got to stay prayed up. You got to stay steadfast and unmovable in the body of Christ, and you got to hold on to God's word, because God's word is going to be the same today, yesterday, and forevermore, and it's not going to change.
It's not changing. So it's tough.
I understand. And the last question. God always have a mysterious way of working. So what led you to hear that message from God to say, oh, I'm gonna be the praise and worship leader, or oh, I'm gonna be this pastor of this church? And that's the last question I got.
It was the burning bush that I saw.
Hey, we had those experiences.
Right. It was a ram in the bush. I never asked to do this. I never asked to be the praise and worship leader. I'm a radio personality. I'm a DJ, and I do gospel music. That's all I knew. That's what I know how to do. That's what I was doing. But the pastor saw something and saw a fire in me that he didn't see in somebody else. And he asked me to do it. And I said, well, listen, I'll do it. But, I'm on the clock. So you got 4 weeks, a month. 4 weeks and a month that turned into almost 8 years, 9 years. Like, I guess I'm in it for the long haul, Lord. Let's do it. So, but it's never, I'm not going to say you're never ready, but God will make sure you're ready. Just like he did for Moses, just like he did for Job, just like he did for everybody else in the Bible. You're never ready, but he will be there to carry you through.
He equips you for the task. I'm like you. I never, ever, because growing up, as much as I saw the blessing and the hope that my pastor brought, I did see some other stuff. That of how he was, he was treated and misused and mishandled. And I never wanted to be a pastor. Never. I wanted to be a servant. I think I'm a good supporter.
I'm great at that.
Yeah. And the pastor who was at the church, so how Church of God in Christ moves is, you got the superintendent. If somebody dies within that district, if there's not an assistant pastor or somebody there that could take over, because the people, they gonna vote who they want. But if it's not somebody there to take over, then the bishop can come and make some suggestions, but he wants to look at the superintendent and say, hey, look, do you have anybody within your district who you think that would be a good fit, that could go to that church and be? And so our superintendent, he was the pastor of the church, and he was much older. And my pastor would say, something happened to Soup, yeah, whatever. I'm serving you. I don't mind, I'm serving you. And so
go on with that.
One day,
go on with that. Everybody got time. Go.
He calls me. The Dallas Cowboys playing, that's his team. He calls me. So I'm thinking he calling me about the Dallas Cowboys. And he says, superintendent, step down. I'm like, hell yeah, what's up? Man, your Cowboys suck. Let me just sit there. And then we started talking, and he said, so just be prepared, because pretty sure Bishop gonna be calling you. And I'm like, and I was like, and I said it again. He was like, you hear what I'm saying? I was like, man, I ain't paying no attention. That's how he was like, no, I'm serious. And I'm like, hold on.
You for real, for real.
Let me mute this TV.
Yeah, hold on, Cowboys. Real? Y'all pause that play.
He told the people today, and he stepped down.
Wow.
And my wife got a message, oh, you make a great first lady. No, she was like, oh, Mother so-and-so sent me this. I was like, oh. Not knowing that that's what happened at the church. They already knew who they wanted.
It was already predestined.
So my pastor said he got off the phone with me. A little while later, he gets a call. We want Elder King to be our pastor. What do we need to do? So he tells them, listen, we fellowship together, but I really didn't. But they were like, we saw how you supported. We saw how you was always. We watch your life. We watch your wife. We watch your life, and that's the thing that made us feel you'll be a good pastor. And I've been there ever since, man.
Because
I wouldn't trade it.
It take moments like that, being a servant and being a blessing to others, that people will see the things that they need to see that are fit. Now it comes with the other teaching, the other coaching, and the other all that other stuff can come in.
It can come in.
But you've never lost the moment of what it means to serve.
Because that's what it is.
Because that's what it.
I'm chief among them.
I'm sorry.
I'm chief. I'm like, when it comes to serve, they have to tell me to sit down. They have to, we have something at the church, we doing whatever. I'm like, you coming in, I got to make sure you good.
Right.
I got to make sure whoever came with you good. And it's like, well, Pastor, y'all, you sit down. Okay, I am. We're going to sit down and we're going to do all this. It's like, if we make meal to go plate, even if they just getting and leaving, make us to go, make sure everybody, and we going to feed them. Make sure everybody my mind is always, if we have a function, and I'm not leaving without helping them break down.
At all.
They be like, Pastor, we got this. You good? Well, let me get some of these clothes. That's just how me and my wife wired. That's how, because we've always served. She was the usher. She was the choir director, one of the praise. So we've always served. That's all we know is serving. I'm vacuuming the ain't nothing. Take it out the garbage. Ain't nothing. Cutting the grass.
Piece of cake.
When our man, he left over there at that church, I would put my push lawnmower in the truck. And I would go out there and push that, because by the time Sunday came, y'all had to be looking right.
That's it.
You
I'm
know?
outside pressure washing. Let's go. Come on.
Yeah.
Why you here?
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. We family. Come on. You want to join in?
So it was like you got to do what you have to do what you have to do, and I mean servitude. Learning how to be a servant will take you a long way. I believe that the way up is down, so you got to humble yourself. I tell young people all the time, humble yourself. Humble yourself. You know, my grandma would always say, you can catch more flies with honey than you can with vinegar.
And never understood it, but I understood it now.
Humble yourself.
Yep.
Humble yourself. So, yeah.
You know, serving in the kitchen growing up, it kept me in that serving mode to help others, to be a blessing. Baby, you come. So I'm almost the last one to lead a church on the daily. They be like, "Why you still here?" I want to make sure the floor was good to go. So whoever come in here this week, they good to go. It's not church is not just about who works at the church. It's everybody at the church.
It's a family.
You know, I know I'm a sound man, but as a sound man, I'm gonna make sure that the sound is on point. But I see something else too. It needs to be vacuum over here. So let me go get the vacuum cleaner and pick this up and clean this while I got the music playing.
Take nothing from me.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Well, that will conclude this episode of Uncharted Conversations. I want to thank Dr. King. I will also thank Mr. Shaw for coming on and being my special guest. I'm going to have them say a little something at the end for the outro. The outro basically would be give a piece of advice to somebody who might be looking to become a Christian and what they can do, and to say where you're from, your name again, and then I finish it up from that point.
I mean, somebody who's interested in being a Christian. I mean, it's a faith walk. You might not always understand. You might not always see, but that's why it's a faith walk. So I would tell you, because a lot of times what gets us to that point is wanting to quit, wanting to give up. But I tell you, don't quit, surrender. Give it to Jesus. It's certain things that you've heard growing up, and it sounded cliche, but I'm telling you, this is the right relationship. This is the best relationship you could ever be in. This is not a religion. This is a relationship. So I don't quit. I think right now that's what's pressed on my heart to tell you, don't quit, surrender. Surrender to the one who died for you. Surrender to the one who came back for you. Surrender to the one who restored and redeemed you. Surrender to the one who's willing to bless you. Surrender to the one who's willing to elevate and lift you. Surrender to the one who wants to heal you. Just surrender. Don't quit, surrender.
You done tried everything else. You done did this, you done did that. So why not try Christ? Why not try him and see what happens? Because to be honest, you're going to get more joy. You're going to get more happiness. You're going to have a better living lifestyle because you're trying to do something different than everybody else is trying to do. And then when people see you, they're going to try to figure out, what can I have? What did you take? And why I don't have it? So you done tried everything else. Let's try this for a change and see where it goes. I'm going to guarantee you, once you come on this side of the fence, ain't no turning back, because this joy you have, the world didn't give it to you, and the world can't take it away. I go hard. I'm 10 toes down. I'm hard in the paint, and we like to have fun too.
Yeah,
So
I second that motion.
Well, folks, that will be the conclusion of this episode. As always, I'm your host, Dante, and we always got to do the same. We got to keep it real, got to keep it funky, got to keep it thou wow. Peace.